afternoon, everybody. Welcome to match day. Well, not match day, but match day weekend afternoon, Friday afternoon, isn't it? So we can officially say weekend is here. We talked about it this morning. It feels good to have football back again because it does feel like a long time. RUBEN Amorim is in his press conference right now. We're going to be bringing you all the quotes from Carrington and what RUBEN has said on the current squad situation. The look ahead to the game against Spurs. Obviously, United have lost twice already to Spurs, conceding 7 goals in 2 games. The omens are not good, especially away from home at Spurs, where our record recently has not been fantastic. But still, United right now going into this game, 6-pointer. That's the question I'm asking right now. 6-pointer, is it with Spurs? We went through the table last night. If you didn't or weren't with us last night, there is a chance that Manchester United this weekend, if things all go wrong, could be in 16th in the league. I know it's looking at the negative side of things. I know it's looking at it from that angle, but still, that is the reality right now. The positive reality is United win and could possibly move up into 11th place in the league if things go their way as well. So it would be nice to have the same sort of result as we did last time RUBEN Amorim had a lot of time on the training ground with this team. Obviously, that was before the Liverpool game and before the Arsenal game. Big gaps in between each game usually bodes well, and Manchester United come out with some form of plan, identity and a style. How we approach the game against Spurs is very, very difficult. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we are going to go into the game. I mean, you'd expect United to be confident in beating Spurs, but does that then open us up? Because this is the thing. Like, if Ange Postecoglou has got anything about him, he's just going to sit back against Manchester United, isn't he? But hey, we'll see. We'll all see in time. But right now, the questions are being asked. RUBEN is answering them. We will bring you all of the answers live on the show. Instant reaction and raw reaction to everything that RUBEN has said from the press conference. The embargoed version of the press conference will be back probably tomorrow/Sunday morning. So over the weekend, we'll bring you the embargoed version, which is usually the juicy bits. I'm guessing with this game being on a Sunday morning, there will be an embargo until late Saturday evening, early Sunday morning. So expect this one to be a split one again. But yes, we will find out initially what is going on around Manchester United when RUBEN Amorim starts answering questions about Manchester United's, everything. Because we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was in town. Maybe the journalist will be asking questions on that. So we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was at Carrington to have meetings. Maybe an update on what's actually happening. Obviously, PSR is going to come into it as well. Are you now worried? Has there been any communication from the Manchester United board and structure or above you that the transfer plans that you did have in place or we're looking towards have changed after yesterday's announcement from the Premier League? Maybe that is going to creep into it as well. There's a ton of different sorts of questions that could come RUBEN Amorim's way. Obviously, touching on Lisandro Martinez, I didn't go in detail on Lisandro yesterday like I was going to. We got carried away with Manchester United's finances, but Lisandro Martinez out for up to a year, which is quite drastic. When they say 6 to 12 months, you know it's always the latter. And we was already pre-warned about the 12-month period and Christmas being a very optimistic look for Lisandro Martinez coming back. Again, I've said this before, like Manchester United are in a desperate situation right now. There was no guarantee that Lisandro Martinez was going to be surviving the summer and wasn't going to be sold. So now that he's off the books as well in terms of not being able to be sold in the summer transfer window because he's injured and no one's going to buy him, is there any other centre-backs? Obviously, we know Victor Lindelof is leaving. We know that Johnny Evans is leaving. Harry Maguire has signed his new deal. We've got Aiden Heaven in the ranks as well right now, alongside Yoro, De Ligt, Mazraoui and Leacher, of course. So really, when we look at it, we should be able to decipher exactly where Manchester United's money, if any, is going to be spent this summer. And it is all in the attacking options. And there is talks, even with the MEN this morning, about, I think it was an interview done with Liam Delap. Now, the situation with Liam Delap has come about simply because Manchester United, with The Athletic yesterday, was saying, and I think this was just before the PSR announcement came in, that Manchester United don't look likely to be going in for Victor Gyökeres because they don't want to invest 60 million into a 27-year-old. There is no future in Victor Gyökeres. It's more of a quick fix. And it's not the way they're going to go. They're sticking to their guns and they're sticking to their young profile of player type of philosophy when it comes to transfers. Fair enough. You just got to get the best that is out there right now. And the younger ones don't come cheap either. But United will spend on young talent that has got a bit of longevity. I think that's what we're looking at right now. Liam Delap has been talking and opening up about his hero as a kid growing up. Obviously, it was, himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, good taste when he was at Manchester United. He was Liam Delap's hero. And I think a few people have made a few stories up regarding Liam Delap. Obviously, Ipswich are going to get relegated. And I don't mean that just completely condemning them. I just don't see the teams above them who are better dropping off enough for them, even if they do turn things around a little bit, to come back and bridge that gap in terms of points from 17th in the table, 18th in the table to 17th in the table. I just don't see that doable for Ipswich and Kieran McKenna's boys. They have struggled, and there's only so far his system and his style of play that worked a treat in the EFL can go in the EPL, the Premier League, and he's stuck. So Liam Delap, as it stands, is going to be an option for Manchester United in the summer. United are all over it. Obviously, his price would come down, but Manchester City do have a 29.5 million buyback option for Liam Delap. Now, would United be wanting to spend any more than that? I think you're probably going to have to get him through the door anyway. 9 goals in, I think, about 17 games or something like that this season for Liam Delap. It's not bad. It's better than one every other game. It's better than any other Manchester United striker right now. And he's doing it at a so-called lesser side with not as much there in terms of quality. Although, again, I do know that Manchester United are in 13th. And we are probably along the lines of Ipswich standard at the moment, especially when it comes to scoring goals. The table never lies. And we don't score enough goals. It's as simple as. There's been a few people posting out Rasmus Højlund's heat maps on all over social media this morning as well, talking about why Rasmus Højlund is so far away from the other strikers, or the difference between him and other strikers in the league is so vast because he doesn't get into the box. His heat map barely shows him arriving into the opposition penalty area at all. It really does. It's embarrassing. It really isn't. Like what the system is, maybe it is a system, maybe it's not, maybe it's just Rasmus. But I'm thinking like moments like this, times where Manchester United can be training these players, like RUBEN Amorim this week. This is why I've got a little bit of hope. Maybe he's worked on something. Maybe they've clicked onto something again. I mean, I'm picking out tiny little positives from what's happened before this season. And the last time that a situation like this came about, where we had a big break, we came back firing against Liverpool. It was one of our better performances. And then again, like I said before, after it with Arsenal. So, yeah, the stories that are flying around at the moment with other strikers, I just don't care anymore. I don't care. We'll talk about them. But for me personally, until Manchester United's season is over and the Europa League is either won, the FA Cup is won, we find out whether we're in Europe or not, then I really don't. I don't really want to take anything that serious when it comes to actual actual targets and plays that could possibly be coming in. Vicario, Maddison and Ndogi are all available for Tottenham to face Manchester United this weekend. So the players that were missing and key players that were missing that Spurs have been struggling with are coming back. So number 1, the goalkeeper. Great. Good goalkeeper. 2, James Maddison. Scourge of Manchester United last time we played them. And Ndogi, another one of their better players. So 3 first-team players coming back for Spurs just when United come into town. It's all we want to hear, isn't it? But that's from Ange Postecoglou in his press conference as well ahead of this game. We're going to hear from RUBEN Amorim in just a couple of minutes' time. Let's get some of your comments in quickly before we move on to RUBEN Amorim's press conference. I've said it for more than a year. Rasmus isn't good enough. People forget he didn't score a goal for 15 games when he came to us. He's nearly as bad as the transfer as Antony was. 75 million on Rasmus is a joke. Strong. 60 million for Gyökeres. Will have 6 or 7 years with him while Obi Martin comes through. I would do it, says Huggles, but Ineos won't because they probably won't make any money off him if we get rid of him. There you go. That's the situation, I think, with the ownership right now. Let's get the likes in as well, everybody. Get your comments in. Ruben is about to hit the floor. Not like he's dancing or anything, but he's about to answer the questions. Spurs have so many injuries, definitely wounded. Let's end it for Ange. They'll go for it. We will... It will be wide open for counter. Also, hello everybody. Yeah, Daniel, like I just said there, we just have got an update from Ange and they've got 3 first-team players coming back. So, not great for United on that side of things. Ill-timed again, but everybody always comes back from injury when United are in town, don't they? It's just the way it is. Always, always, always. Amorim's presser. I don't know if it's on MUTV, S. Madison. I really don't. We're just getting the quotes up from here. We never watch it. We never rely on MUTV because all of the funds have been cut by Ineos for MUTV, so you don't know what you're going to get these days from them. So, yep, no coverage from that side of things. Hi Adam, setting aside whether these players fit into Ruben's system or not, it's all about commitment and character. These players need to show us all that they care. Sinking fast right now. Very, very, very fast. Very fast. Steve, thanks for the comment, mate. We have the advantage this week on away form. I'm positive, although I know we'll play bobbins. Yeah, away form is better than home form. That is it. And United do usually turn up away from home. And yeah, what you've got to look at with it is really Spurs. You don't know. Like, we're catching Spurs form-wise at the best time. I think we really are. But then again, the players that are coming back, have they got the bit between the teeth? Will they be looking at Manchester United as as a wounded animal also? Will they be licking their lips? That's what we've got to look at in all of this. So, here we go. The updates are coming in and the quotes from RUBEN Amorim are firing in just as we speak right now. So, let's get into some of these. Disruption at Manchester United this week during training. Amorim answering that question. This has been posted out by Laurie Whitwell. It was a good week until 2 days ago. We had some problems. We don't have players back. Maybe we have 1 or 2 issues. We are waiting. We have 1 player who is sick. We will see on this weekend. Well, that doesn't bode very well straight away, does it? Straight into the negatives. Some injury issues. Wouldn't name who. That's from Samuel Luckhurst. He's also said that he's a huge fan of Ange Postecoglou. He's a good guy, a very good coach. I understand the connection with me and Ange. With respect, I am at a bigger club. Well said, Ruben. Well said, mate. Oh God, that straight away that first one there coming out has really worried me. Like, why? Now, injuries. Seriously, that's the first thing that's come out. Ruben hasn't alluded to who the injuries are, just so we're clear on that. But he does have a few issues and a couple of players that have been sick as well. Well, are we going to have another depleted side again? Oh, God, it doesn't feel good already, does it? But he was saying that everyone was okay. And then all of a sudden, in the last 2 days, we've now found ourselves with a couple of injuries and a sick player as well. So yeah, it looks like we've been hit by something. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, when you look at, God, when you look at it, I mean, Rob Dawson has just said it there. He's broke it all down. It's been a free week for Manchester United, but Amorim suggested at his press conference today that he suffered more injuries ahead of the game with Spurs. It was a good week until 2 days ago. We have some problems. We have 1 or 2 issues. We have 1 player also who is sick. Right, so expect 3 players to be having late fitness tests, I take from that. That's the opening to the press conference. Let's see what else we've got in terms of quotes coming out from RUBEN Amorim right now. Let's see. He's also been talking about the job losses at Manchester United, and the quote's just come out on this. Our biggest problem now is Tottenham, avoiding the conversation altogether, clearly. We know the moment of the club. I have to understand these problems, but these problems in our club are not new. We have a problem at the moment, but that cannot influence how I coach the team and prepare for the next game. Complete political sidestep. Political sidestep. Come on, Adam. Spit your words out. Here it's simple. To do something, we need to sell players. Ooh, got a special coming later on this evening as well on that, actually. So, yeah, stay tuned for later on, everybody. It's going to be an earlier evening show tonight as well. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the bell notification so you know exactly when the live show is coming later on this evening. It's going to be approximately around about 5:30 today, just so you're all aware of it. Maybe even, so it's going to be around about, actually 5:40, around about 5:45 time, 6 o'clock time for this evening's live show, everybody. So make sure you tuned in for that one. But yeah, let's get some more of your thoughts on this. Let's just see, quite a few people saying we have to beat Spurs, that they are equally crap like us. Yeah, but they are, and they're in a worse position than us. But if they beat us, then we take over Spurs' position, and that really is it. Oh, someone's asked a question about winning the league. Win the league 2028? Yes. We talk about that. Our focus is to win the Premier League, and we can change everything in a few years. In this moment, we are in a difficult position, but we need to work every day and focus on the little steps. Again, this is like, I don't really know how to take that. Like he's just, he's not directly answering questions at the moment. He's trying to just avoid everything. It just sounds like he's got his shield up. It sounds like RUBEN Amorim has got his guard up completely. We have to sell players. That's leaving it open. We've got injuries. That is leaving it open. We don't know. And what about all of the job cuts? Nothing I can do right now. I still have to coach Manchester United. He's like completely aware of everything that's going on at the football club, which is good. But yes, Amorim on potentially drafting in academy players such as Chidowabe. I don't want to say names. We have to be careful on that. We have problems this week. We called some young players to be in our training. We need some data evaluation. He is one of them. So when answering about about Chidowabe, he has said that he has looked for data and some more information on him. He has been involved in training. He has promoted a few other players as well from the academy into training because he's lacking in numbers in his squad through injuries like he's alluded to in the last 2 days, and obviously he has had an illness as well of a player, so low on numbers, and obviously we didn't really bring anyone else in apart from Dorgu and Heaven, and we got rid of 3 first team players. So he is down on numbers right now. Be an interesting team by the sounds of it so far. Cost cutting at Manchester United and financial issues. Here it's simple. To do something, you need to sell. You need to sell players. That's it. He's very, very well aware of what Ineos' situation and Manchester United's situation is. That latest one was from Samuel Luckhurst. I know I did say that again prior to that, but I'm just reading through some of the different journalist quotes who are actually in the press conference right now. RUBEN Amorim on the latest controversies surrounding Ineos. Oh, interesting one. I have to understand all these problems, but that problem of our club is not new. Oh, it's the one I said before. Just to go over it again. We already knew all the rules of financial fair play, but that cannot change the way I coach the team. Yep. Again, perfect answer. He has to concentrate on coaching the team. The only thing, like we've said many times before, is the only thing that does sort of make things better off the pitch is results on it. And United, if they're not winning, they're not going to get any better off the pitch. It's as simple as that. Like the noises, all of the discontent, everything that's going on around Manchester United off the pitch only stops when United start winning, because nobody digs. When everything's going well, nobody's digging because everything looks great. when everything's bad, there has to be someone to blame. And you just dig and you dig and you dig, and it keeps on going, and they keep on uncovering different stories from everywhere. When everything's all right, everyone's upbeat, everyone's okay. But if United don't get results, Manchester United speculation columns go absolutely through the roof. Manchester United stats under RUBEN Amorim compared to Erik ten Hag in the Premier League this season. That's something I want to get into later on as well. I have got a special show lined up for later because Ten Hag has been opening up a little bit over the last couple of days. Rumours about him coming back to management and rumours about him trying to help out someone at Manchester United. But I'll go into all of that later on and go through the evening show with that. Right now, we're just covering the press conference, so I'm just going to double check on everything that's coming out. We just talked about Chido Obi Martin. We talked about selling players in the summer. He is looking at youth players, by the way. That's what's come out there. He is looking at some of the younger players, but he wants more data analysis on a lot of the academy players. And that is off the back of him saying that he is missing a few players for this weekend, but will not name them. 12-point gap to the relegation zone. If you see the table, it is impossible to feel any type of comfort. Honest, as always. We just want to win to improve our performance because we are Man United. There is no comfort in any situation in this club. Well, yeah, as honest as it gets, really. That is a typical Ruben response to a question there. A tough question regarding how close Manchester United are. He's had some tough ones today, I feel, there, hasn't he? He's been asked about Ineos. He's been asked about the summer, the transfers. He's been asked about, obviously, the injuries and not being able to give good news on that front, by the sounds of it. But asked about his relegation position again. Now, do remember that he's the one that's come out and said that Manchester United, this is the worst Manchester United side in history. He's alluded to that. He's sort of backstepped a bit on it already, but he's also said, look, we have to look at relegation as a reality right now. It's right there. He won't ignore it. And he's just being brutally honest again. But I feel like because he said that a while ago, the media are always going to allude to them sorts of questions because like we said at the top of the show, if results go wrong for United this weekend, if results go right, we can move up to 11th. If results go wrong, Manchester United can be down in 16th. That's how desperate the situation is right now with Manchester United. And this Spurs game this weekend is really, really big. It's huge, in fact. And you could actually say it's a 6-pointer for the fallen, well, one giant and one wannabe giant in Spurs. Let's be honest. That's what we're talking about this weekend. It's embarrassing for both, but I would say more embarrassing for Manchester United. Amorim on former players performing well in terms of Antony, and obviously asked a question about Marcus Rashford as well. I don't know. Sometimes it's like that. It can happen with any club. This club has a lot of pressure, and you have to have a base of a team to put younger and talented players that can that come from abroad to help them. If you are playing better as a team and you have a strong core, it's like it's supposed to be at this club. It will be more easier for these kind of players to play football. Kind of getting a little bit tangled up there in the whole question. Talking about Antony, players doing well that have left United on loan right now. I think he's alluding to the pressure. And the pressure at Manchester United is different to any other club. But obviously if the team is playing well, like we've said, then everybody coming in or other players that are coming in from abroad can find it easier to adapt. I think that's what he's alluding to. When the players that are in, the core players, are not playing well, like he says there, it's harder for everyone else to start playing well because they know what it takes. They just are out of form and not doing well for one reason or another. And then when you bring his other players in, he alludes to it there, and I think what he's getting at there is the younger players coming in. When he was asked about Chido Obi before as well, in terms of any younger players possibly having a chance to come in, he doesn't want to bring them in if the team is not playing well. It's harder for them, and he's clearly got one part of him there thinking about the future and the development of these players, and he doesn't want it to be affected. I think that's what we can take from that, definitely. But yes, better away from home than at home. Good question. And Ruben answering it says, I feel it in the game and the performance because you see it. I see it. Sometimes when you are the underdog, especially in big games, that is a thing we should not feel in any game because we are Manchester United. But I feel the players are more free. But when you have to win the game, you have to do more. You have to be more dominant in every aspect of the game. And I feel the team is not quite there. Sometimes the feeling is different when we play away. Again, he sees it, we see it, we all know it. He's just trying to avoid it. He's being honest and upfront. It's not acceptable. You are Manchester United. Stop acting like the underdog. Stop thinking like the underdog and start playing football like what United expectation levels are. And ultimately, I think, again there, he's just being brutally honest, Ruben Amorim, with what he's saying. And that is that this team is just insanely underperforming. And they need to get better. Let's get into some of your comments quick on this. Spurs may be getting their players back, but they won't be match fit. We shouldn't be worried about that with the break we've had and the time spent on the training pitch. We need to produce on Sunday. Yep, all true and well. The only thing with that, I would say, Mr Dasio, is who he's injured, because he's not named the 3 players that might be missing out. 3 players on top of who we already know are out, which is Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount. So there's 3 more that possibly might not be available for the game this weekend. We don't know who yet. He talked about Ange there. We talked about that. He's got massive amounts of respect for Ange Postecoglou, but in terms of understanding them both being in a similar position, with all respect, he did say that United is a bigger club than Spurs, which I think is good of Ruben to say that. I think we all know it already anyway. And it's just to generally go over everything again there, like in terms of what he's been asked. The injuries, not great. Form, not great. Playing better away from home, obvious. They've got to start handling the pressure a little bit better. Talking about Ineos and the problems, talking about the future plans of Manchester United. He's saying that we need to go in on... we need to actually sell players. We need to sell players to buy players, basically, is what he's saying. And yeah, when you look at it, I feel like he's trying to just focus on the game when no one else really cares. We'll deal with the game then, but everybody wants the juicy stuff about everything else. And I think that's where these questions today have gone down, and that's the line. It's like, we want to know if there's any academy players coming through because we want something new to write about. Are you going to dish any dirt from the visit of Ineos in terms of Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming to Carrington? The plans for the future, the transfers now PSR has come in. And he's touched on little bits there and give them a little bit to feed off, especially the got to sell players to buy players bit. When he talks about Ruben Amorim, I'm a huge fan of him. I am from a different culture. Portuguese cultures can adapt. I used one system because I believe you can use other systems at the same time. I understand connection with me and Ange. We have same problems. Due respect, I am at a bigger club. Talking about the systems there. So when he's talking about Ange, when he's talking about what we said before in terms of he's at a bigger club, he's also talked about the system. And again, he's sort of just like snuck that one in there a little bit there, Ruben, saying that, yeah, it is one system that works, the one system that he's using right now, but also there are other systems that can be incorporated into his system. And I think that's what he's doing right now. Underdog mentality, not good enough. If he plays Dalot, I'll probably collapse in disappointment. Call a doctor. He's going to play him, mate. I'm just going to calm that for you a little bit, just to settle you in. He is going to play him. I missed that bit about the possible absent players. I bet they're key, aren't they? Says Mr Adasa Sandero. Hopefully not. But yeah, just to go over what was said there on that. Ruben Amorim, when asked about injuries, it was a good week, but we've had 1 or 2 issues, players that might be missing, and a player that is ill. So obviously, we have got 3 key players within the squad, separate to Lisandro, Mason Mount and Luke Shaw. So expect there may be changes from what we were probably thinking is definite going into this Spurs game. One thing you can count on is that the machines that are the Portuguese players will be fit and available, and that being Dalot and Bruno. I expect both of them to play is what I say anyway. Hopefully it's not Dorgu. Hopefully it's not someone, honestly, like Ahmad. I would be gutted if Ahmad isn't playing. I think I'd probably feel like giving up at that point. If we found out a couple of days before the game, like tomorrow, not today, sorry. If I found out tomorrow that Ahmad was out of the game, oh, God, I don't know where we go. I don't know how we manage it. I don't, but it is what it is, isn't it? Over 100 likes on the press comments video. Thank you, everybody. Just going to double check that is everything. Relegation zone, we talked about that. Yep. That is everything from the first part of RUBEN Amorim's press conference, everyone. We've covered everything. We've gone through it all. Please do get your comments in below when we've finished. That is it for now from me. I'm going to go and prepare myself for later on. We'll be back around about 5:30, 5:45, probably 5:45, 5:45 time this evening for the live show, everybody. A bit earlier because it's a Friday. And I will go through everything else that's going on. So somewhat of a special show later on again. So please be there. Make sure you've subscribed to Forever United TV. Give the video a like on the way out. And I'll see you all later on this afternoon. Have a fantastic Friday.